What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to take a quick look at Avalanche Software, of course, makers of Hogwarts Legacy, and potentially 2 upcoming games. Now, we've done a lot of deep dives here, and remember, the general thought is that they're making a Hogwarts Legacy 2, and whether that has multiplayer or not, by the way, is pretty confusing on if it actually will, but they're making a Hogwarts Legacy 2, and then they're also very, very much making a online live service RPG, okay? And they call it different things depending on different job postings, but what I found was interesting, okay? Well, first, let me say this. I was actually directed to their job postings from Joe Mack, great guy, friend of the channel, and I want to talk about one of the job postings and the thing that he sent me. But I went on their website, and first thing that actually stands out is they're hiring for 16 positions right now at a time that the industry is like shutting down studios and laying a bunch of people off. Pretty cool to see. Now, I mean, look, studios go through ups and downs, right? When they bulk up to release a new game, they hire people. They hire 10, 15, 20 people. You'll see job postings on these sites. And then when the game comes out, they really are probably downsizing, internally at the studio, and they go back forth. Okay, so it's not all that shocking. I guess what's most shocking is of the 16, all right, they're really all for the live service game. Besides maybe one. I would say maybe one. It's actually the very first one, and it's the one that Joe sent me on Twitter that I'll talk about in a second. But another interesting thing, I guess, is if you click them, about half of them lead to error messages, which tends to indicate that they probably found somebody and the job posting is up, but it's not really up. So they got about 16. Really, it might be around 8. And again, unless Hogwarts Legacy 2 is a always online live service, multiplayer RPG, unless that is what it is, these are all positions for the second game, not even Hogwarts Legacy 2, depending on how you view things, I guess, right? It is honestly pretty confusing. And as I've always said, I really do not want Hogwarts Legacy 2 to be a live service game. If they make Hogwarts Legacy 2 a live service game, I think that's going to disappoint me along with potentially millions of other people. Okay, let's go over some of the more interesting details. So Joe sent me this, and again, this is the very first one actually on their site. It's for an advanced software engineer, and this is really the only one that doesn't talk about which game they're working on. A lot of them, they are not afraid to say. They say the job, right? Advanced software engineer, the job. A lot of these will say like online. I mean, maybe I'll read some of them in this video, but they're not afraid. They're just outright posting it. For this one, they don't post it, but they do say this person will work closely with the project engineering, art, and design leads to develop high-quality game features for AAA games for next-generation platforms. So that's the big thing I just want to talk about for a little while, and we'll go to all the other stuff in a second. So look, I think we're long past calling the generation we're in next-gen, okay? Normally, when you get in like 2-3 years and games are starting to not release on the past gen, right? So PS4, Xbox One, you really stop calling PS5 and the series consoles. You stop calling them next gen, okay? This is the current gen. We're in the current gen. So I'm only saying, I'm rationalizing it, because when they say develop high quality game features for AAA games for next gen platforms, I do believe they're talking about PS6 and the next Xbox. Now, here's the thing. That shouldn't be all that surprising. The next game they release will be when the next-gen consoles are out. That's just, I think, factually what's going to happen. Hogwarts Legacy 2, at best, I think, will release in 2028, okay? The next-gen consoles most likely come out fall of 27. So you're going to be releasing Hogwarts Legacy 2 within the first year, most likely. I mean, if everything goes according to plan, both of those parts, most likely you'd be releasing Hogwarts Legacy 2 in the first year of next-gen consoles. So, look, it wouldn't be next-gen exclusive. Of course, it would be for PS5 and the series consoles, but you would release them on PS6 and next-gen, right? So, I think that's why you have that name there. So, it shouldn't be shocking, even if the multiplayer game comes first. Again, even if the multiplayer game comes first, they started bulking up at the same time. Like really after Hogwarts Legacy 1 came out, and then like we found job postings kind of together, the community, over the months and even like the following year after Hogwarts came out, they were bulking up like then. So they weren't working on anything, in my opinion, besides Hogwarts Legacy at the time that game came out. So both games that are in development might be very close to each other. Like if you release Hogwarts Legacy 2 spring of 28, right, say around the same time that you did Hogwarts Legacy 1, the multiplayer might come out the same year or like a year later. I don't think they're coming out like next year or something kind of crazy like that, okay? So that's one big one. Really, again, the only other thing I guess I would look at is lead designer narrative. This one I actually posted on Twitter as well. So story integration in multiplayer systems. Craft narratives that adapt to multiplayer frameworks, including PvP, player versus player, and PvE, player versus environment, experiences, matchmaking, and live service updates. Again, like you can probably find small little tidbits here and there. At the top, they do actually say the lead designer narrative for an online multiplayer RPG. So that's their code. I think we've said that probably before, right, in past videos. The code word for this new game, again, hopefully not Hogwarts Legacy 2, is an online multiplayer RPG. When I say live service, it's because in a lot of these kind of like bullet points that they'll post, a lot of them will literally say live service, like creating missions for like launch and then beyond, right? Keeping the game. I think there's a project manager that I think actually is like one of the highest. I think you make like $250,000 a year if you get that one, and that one is literally designed to keep the game going, keep the experience going, work with people. And I think that's where they mentioned that it's quite literally live service, right? The game comes out, then what do you plan? How do you continue? I saw maybe it's executive producer. I kind of forget which one. There's one that talks about money. There's one that talks about creating, I think it was called player-friendly monetization. And again, man, that scares me. That really freaking scares me. Because you know they have to do it. When you make a live service game, okay, it might be free to play, it might be a paid game, but when you make one of those freaking things, it's going to be, it's going to last as long as they want it to last. It might be pulled before you even know it, and you know that they're going to charge you for something, right? Whether it's skins or content or whatever it might be, they're going to charge. So the stage is set. The stage really, really is set because you see the right. I mean, I guess we kind of skipped over it, but like the writer, PvP and PvE, by the way, interesting in that like I imagine that rules out probably like Quidditch, right? Like player versus player and then player versus environment. Sounds like, I mean, like PvP and PvE like are used quite often, in this world. I don't really think you would use that for like Quidditch. Like I've come up with like Wizard's Chess, right? Like ideas of like easy to implement multiplayer modes in say like a Hogwarts Legacy 2 doesn't sound like that. It really sounds like, I mean, maybe like World of Warcraft. It really sounds like you're going around, maybe you go to classes, you do quests, you have side things you can do, you got crafting, you got all this different stuff, and you can do stuff with each other, right? Maybe we can go to a dungeon together, or then maybe we can duel each other, right? There's like a dueling ring that's almost like a separate server where it kind of puts you in like a loading thing, and I'm going to try to find you or you try to find me, and that's almost built separately out from like the base game, something like that, right? That would, I think, be like PvP would be something like a duel, PvE would be like me and you or just me against like a dungeon, we go through spiders or whatever, something like that. The stage is set. This is what the game is going to be. You're going to pay for it. You're going to pay probably a lot for it depending on how they go. Again, like I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. Like I'm never not going to play it. Like I gotta play it. I gotta check it out. What man would I be without trying it? But at the same time, I do get very worried because WB is one of, I'd say, the worst ones at like trying this out, this live service thing. Many have tried, many have failed. You could argue maybe WB is not the worst one, but they've made one of the worst ones with like Suicide Squad. So I don't know. When you're hiring people that are talented at it, maybe you stand a chance, and I hope they do stand a chance because I do want the game to be good. I don't want these people fired or anything. I want the game to be successful. You got to do it right, and I swear to God, if you change Hogwarts Legacy into an online-only game, I'm going to flip. I think a lot of people are going to flip. You're going to lose a lot of goodwill literally right away. If you want to make Hogwarts Legacy 2 and then a multiplayer game, which is what I think is happening, that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. That's probably what the industry was pushing them to do anyway, whatever, or WB was pushing them to do. That's whatever. But if you change Hogwarts Legacy into a multiplayer, that's not okay, at least by me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.